We join the P&O cargo ship Patonga, seen here in her original colours of black hull and stone upperworks with a black funnel. She was launched in 1953 from the yards of A. Stevenson and Sons, Glasgow, and at just over 10,000 tonnes she was engaged initially in the UK-Australia cargo service. It's going to be a long voyage, and the crew are kept busy during the day with a multitude of tasks around the ship, such as polishing and sanding down. On the bridge, the officers will come out to take the noonday sight to check the ship's position. It'll be years before GPS makes this practice virtually redundant. As usual, painting goes on day in, day out to keep the ship smart, whilst others are on watch on the bridge. We pass Ballarat, the third ship of this name in the P&O fleet. She's a general cargo ship, also built by Stevenson and Sons. At 8,800 tonnes, she was built for the wool trade. A view of Patonga taken from the masthead. The cameraman scans around the deck, looking forward and aft to catch a view of general activity on another lazy day at sea. We pass Sitmar at sea, another P&O general cargo ship, this time employed on the India Far East trade. We lack the luxury of a swimming pool, but the officers have rigged a hose and keep cool whilst indulging in a little horseplay. Lifeboat drill is an essential part of sea life, but it can also be fun. Here we see several officers putting their backs into it as they bring their boat towards the ship. It's not always plain sailing, and here we switch to a sister ship, Parim, as she batters her way through rough seas on her way south. She too is a refrigerated cargo vessel on the Australia run. Moored in calmer waters, a brave cadet jumps off the wing of the bridge into the sea. One can't help wondering whether the seawater did a lot of good for his cap and tropical uniform. Others choose a more dignified entrance to the water, never mind the sharks. On a long voyage like this, every opportunity is taken for recreation. Back now with Patonga, we enter the Suez Canal at port side, passing the huge advertising hoarding promoting Johnny Walker Red Label. Then the famous store of Simon Arts, where all the usual Egyptian souvenirs are to be found. We continue our passage through the canal. Out into the Red Sea, we pass very close by an Arab dhow. into the Indian Ocean, where dolphins glide through the water, keeping pace with the ship, whilst we make our way towards Bombay. A steward brings tea to the officer of the watch, whilst others on deck are playing with the ship's dog. As we approach Australia, the crew are all lined up on deck. P&O had traditionally employed Lascaux seamen and Goanese stewards on all their ships. Many of these seamen have a long record of loyal service to the company. Approaching Sydney, the pilot boat Captain Cook comes out to meet us as we enter the harbour through the heads. The Manly ferry, South Stein, passes close by as we move towards our berth on the other side of the harbour bridge. On our way home, we drop off the pilot near Port Melbourne. It'll be another 6 or 7 weeks before we reach home. A last look at Patonga from a ship's boat. This is the third and final part of the series of video and DVD films crossing the oceans, which feature ships of a bygone era, mainly filmed in the 50s and 60s. These films were collected from passengers and crew members who had the foresight to record some of their memories on cinefilm of that period. Our first episode featured liners from companies owned by the P&O Company, ships of the Orient Line, BI, New Zealand Shipping Company, and P&O itself. The second had some more famous British companies, such as Cunard, Union Castle, Shaw Savill, Canadian Pacific and Royal Mail. In this episode we concentrate on liners owned by continental companies, ships from Italy, Germany, France, Holland, Sweden, Norway, Portugal and Greece. We're also going to be looking at some smaller British cargo ships, joining 2 of them as they ply their trade across the oceans. We will watch as ships dock and sail from Manchester and see some of the activity in the Manchester Ship Canal. Finally, we'll record some incidents and minor accidents, which, as we all know, are unavoidable, but sometimes become a focus of interest as part of the life at sea. Sit back now and enjoy these memories.